Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. It's the podcast where we watch The Muppet Christmas Carol 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And joining us today, we have one of our favorite guests. She's been here every season. Guest, who are you?
Hi, I'm this week's particular visitor. I shouldn't laugh at my own joke. I'm this week's particular visitor, Becca Petunia of toughpigs.com.
So now I'm wondering how that website, that translation website, would translate Hubba-Wha back into English.
Wow. It
Particular
probably
visitor,
has come
presenter
up.
of, yeah.
I can do some checking in the background. And a reminder to listeners, that is how the text of these episodes has been translated by these mysterious, retranslating and posting bots that have been taking all of our website posts and reposting them on these weird websites.
Yeah, when we're recording, that episode came out yesterday.
Right.
But
the one with Matt Wilkie.
Yeah.
Where we talked about that. Yeah, so special guest comes out as particular visitor.
Yes. And we are always happy to have particular visitor Becca Petunia back with us.
Indeed.
And today, Becca is joining us to discuss minutes 55 and 56 of Muppet Christmas Carol. In these minutes, Scrooge witnesses his nephew Fred's Christmas party and then goes somewhere else.
I am going to do something really obnoxious right here and try to... Can I interject something that I forgot last week?
Sure.
One detail about the song, It Feels Like Christmas, that I forgot to mention. In the DVD commentary, Brian Henson says that the original concept for that song was not to have everybody just dancing around the square in London. It was for the Ghost and Scrooge to fly all around the world, so the Ghost could show Scrooge how Christmas is being celebrated in other places. But then they realized they could not afford that. It would cost way too much money, so they just moved it to the set that they already had.
Well, and since you brought it up, in the book, the Ghost of Christmas Present takes Scrooge to about 3 other locations besides the ones we see in this movie.
In the context of here's how people celebrate Christmas in other places?
Yes, but the other places are all England.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
like...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's like here are some miners. Here are some people in the poorhouse, you know.
Right.
That honestly, I get that. That feels very, Muppets, especially, late 80s, 90s Muppets, because, Jim Henson became very interested in, he always was, exploring other cultures.
Oh, yeah, very globally conscious, yeah.
But to me, that's not really what the book is about. It's very much about how this stuff relates to Scrooge and,
right.
And knowing how people celebrate Christmas that in
Brazil.
Kentucky.
It works
Kentucky
great
fried,
without it.
Yeah. Kentucky Fried Chicken is a big Christmas dish in Japan, apparently. But that's not super relevant to Scrooge's exploits.
Well, when you put it that way, it would have been fun to see Scrooge and the Ghost eating Kentucky Fried Chicken in Japan. But anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In 1843.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of course. Do we think that Colonel Sanders is one of the Ghost of Christmas Present's many brothers? They kind of look the same.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with yes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That checks out.
Sure. So what actually happened? So one thing I was going to say, first of all, is we're going to Nephew Fred's Christmas party, and I don't know about either of you, but I was kind of surprised that the whole scene is in this clip. This is 100 seconds, and it feels like so much more.
Yeah, it kind of shows you how good this script is, that they can fit this entire scene so efficiently into 2 minutes.
Yeah, it really is. It really is just in and out, covering, it's an important scene for Scrooge's narrative, but we really see this whole kind of mini arc that Scrooge goes through in the span of this 2-minute clip, with also some pretty, or at least moderately decent jokes mixed in. So, that's good.
Yeah. So let's get into it. As Scrooge and the Ghost of Christmas Present materialize, the first people we see are Nephew Fred, who we've already met, and his wife Clara. But it's been a while since we saw them in the movie, so Scrooge helpfully exposits their names out loud.
Can I just may I interject something? As is of course Sam the Eagle's catchphrase in Muppets Party Cruise. May I interject something? It's his classic catchphrase. He says it all the time, just in that game. But if I may interject something, before we even see Fred and Clara as the first two people we see, we do see some paintings of birds over the mantelpiece.
Yeah, nice paintings.
Yeah, I did want to comment that one of them, the one on the right, seems to be a red-winged blackbird, which of course does not live in Europe. So Charles Dickens must have gotten that on his trip to New Jersey that you guys talked about, because they do live there, but they don't live in Europe. And yeah, I had to add this because the only thing that I pay more attention to or similar attention to than Muppets is birds. So it worked out nicely. But yeah, Fred and Clara are in this scene.
Yeah, they are.
Yes. But we haven't seen Clara before, right? This is her
correct.
introduction.
This is her introduction. So Fred is Stephen McIntosh, as we discussed. Right. Clara is played by Robin Weaver. The actress's name is Robin Weaver, and she continues to work all the time, mostly in British television. This is a pretty early credit for her, but since then, she was the mother of one of the main characters in the teen sitcom The In-Betweeners that ran for several years.
Yeah, that's a lot of her credits on IMDb are from The In-Betweeners.
Right. Her IMDb known for is this movie, In-Betweeners, the sitcom, and the two In-Betweeners movies.
Right, exactly.
But she's also been on The Thick of It, Black Mirror, Call the Midwife, Midsummer Murders. She's a very frequent guest star on British television.
I guess I didn't recognize her on Black Mirror, but I have seen that episode, which is a Christmas episode called White Christmas.
And it was 25 years after this.
Right,
too,
yeah.
so.
It's the one with John Hamm, and apparently she plays a police officer in one of the little vignettes in that episode.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure I've seen that Call the Midwife. Roz watches that show all the time. But I think she's a delight in this. I think
she is
very little screen time, and she makes such a big impression.
Right.
I think that Fred and Clara seem like they are having so much fun together.
They seem like such a happy couple.
They really, that's the thing. Scrooge asks Fred, I don't know why you got married, but then we see them together, and it's so obvious why Fred got married.
Yeah, they're so cute together.
Because, yeah, that's the thing. But so, the first thing that and then before we really get into the scene, Rizzo says that he wants some fruit because Rizzo loves to eat.
Now, at first I was trying to remember if he actually tries to eat the fruit because I was thinking maybe he wanted to sell it like he was selling the apples at the beginning.
Well, sure. But Ryan, even when he's selling the apples at the beginning, he's eating the apples. He's creating scarcity.
Yes, no.
So right.
Those two things.
All he does is this.
These two things are one and the same.
It always goes back to him eating everything.
I do want to say, to jump ahead a little bit, but he does eat the fruit in 30 seconds in the scene.
Yes.
Right.
And the fruit is wax fruit, and he doesn't realize until Gonzo tells him. This is a little weird to me, something I never really thought about until I was watching this 2 minutes at a time and taking pages and pages of notes about it. Because, that's not something we usually associate Rizzo with. With the Muppet monsters, it's always they're just eating anything, and they don't even realize that it's not really food. Cookie Monster is eating Rosebud the sled, and Harry Monster wants to share a bicycle with him. But, Rizzo eats food. He loves to eat, but he loves to eat food. I can't think of another time that we see Rizzo eat something that isn't food.
He's just so desperate to eat in this movie that he'll eat anything that resembles food, I guess.
Rizzo only does 3 things in this movie, which is eat, fall, and panic.
And you know what? It's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's all great. It's all funny.
Him.
Exactly.
I like him in this movie.
But no, that is a good point that he doesn't even notice it's wax until Gonzo points it out to him.
Well, I mean, he says that he wondered about the texture.
Yeah, but he just kept on eating it. So he wasn't going to stop eating it because it was made of wax.
but not about the taste. Wax doesn't taste like fruit.
Right. Yeah.
It's like when you get wax lips on Halloween and you're like, am I supposed to eat these? Nobody really knows.
Right. But you guys remember those little pop bottles?
Oh,
that
yes.
Yes.
They like actually had pop in them, but they were made out of wax, and you're supposed to bite the top off.
Yeah.
I thought those were so
You're
weird.
supposed to chew the top.
Yeah,
and
it was
eat
like
it.
you bit the cork off.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no, they were all made of wax.
You're not supposed to.
I don't.
Yeah, you didn't swallow them though, Ryan. You didn't eat.
Right,
them.
no,
You
that's
just
what I
bit it
would.
off.
I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted
I mean,
to make sure.
okay.
Rizzo would. Yeah.
Rizzo would, yeah.
But
exactly.
again, it just, that feels so much like a joke that like would have. Again, I don't question it when I watch the movie as a whole. I'm only questioning it because I'm watching it 2 minutes at a time. But like, if it was Gonzo and Cookie Monster tell the story of A Christmas Carol, no one would think anything of it.
No.
You know,
Cookie Monsters can eat everything.
if it was Gonzo and the Lunch Encounter Monster, you know, the new dynamic duo in the post-Jim era, then we wouldn't question it.
That would be funny.
Yeah, no, you're right. But getting back to the scene, Fred announces to the group, "We've had the plum pudding and sung carols. What now, my lovelies?" And here's what I love about Fred as a party host. He recaps what has occurred so far in the evening to make sure that everyone remembers.
Yeah.
To make sure that
I mean,
everyone is up to speed.
That's just a convention of storytelling, right?
Well, no, of course.
Well, it's useful when you're dealing with small children. You know, it helps to remind about the steps where you've been to help them understand, you know, progression. There are no small children in this scene, but you know, maybe he's
But I do think it would be funny at my next birthday party to say, "Well, everyone, we've eaten pizza and had some cake. Now, should we play a game?"
Well, do we want to talk about plum pudding, or do we just assume that our audience knows what plum pudding is?
I didn't do any research on it. I was just wondering if either of you maybe have tried plum pudding. I certainly haven't.
I've had plum pudding.
How is it?
No.
So
what is it?
It's good. I mean, so plum pudding is basically like a syrupy cake.
Oh,
it's not
more like cake than pudding.
Yes, it's nothing like pudding. Well, what we call pudding in America is not what they in England. Pudding can basically mean dessert, right? What are we having for pud, as Mary Berry would say?
Right, and that's, you know, like in The Wall, it's if you
can't have any. You eat your meat, you can't have any pudding, right?
It's literally like no dessert until you finish dinner is effectively what they're saying.
What they're saying, right? So, but plum pudding specifically is like a syrupy plum cake that's like shaped in a mound. Mm-hmm. In the winter issue of the Muppet Show comic book, Gonzo fights a plum pudding.
Oh wow!
You might recall.
I don't know if I've seen that.
I don't recall.
Oh, okay.
That sounds a little bit like a chocolate lava cake. I'm sure it's not actually in practice.
Yeah,
but that
I mean,
makes
it's
me
fruity,
want to
you know.
I think I'll have a chocolate lava pudding.
Right. I do have to say my primary association with plum pudding is Chimes of Midnight, a Doctor Who audio story from 2001 or 2002, in which the Doctor and his companion Charlie, the Eighth Doctor, played by Paul McGann, and his companion Charlie are trapped in a house in 1906, in which there is a time loop between the hours of 10 o'clock and midnight in which they are trapped. And so in this story, the cook says, "Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without my plum pudding," many times. And so Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without my plum pudding. And I should also say that Roz and I listen to this story every year.
Oh, nice.
During a car trip of some kind. So Christmas truly wouldn't be Christmas without that plum pudding for us.
Right.
So that's honestly why I know what it is. That's why I bothered to look it up.
Oh, good. Yeah. This is useful information.
Right. But in this movie, we don't see him eat plum pudding. Instead, Clara suggests that they should play a game, and Scrooge is surprised by this idea. Scrooge is
I
like,
wrote
baffled.
Down, I loved the line where Scrooge is like, "Do people play games at Christmas?" Because it literally, like, the characterization here is that Scrooge is so unfun that he's basically like an alien. Like, he doesn't understand what parties are. It's either that, or you could deliver it like your Elmo talking to Dorothy, like just like the most like either you're an alien or like you're a 3-year-old who's, you know, needs to ask a baby about whether you can play games at Christmas. It's
Scrooge is the baby here.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny, and then I love that the Ghost of Christmas Present doesn't actually answer the question. He's like, I love games. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, that kind of answers the question. He is the ghost of Christmas.
True.
Right. But then what happens is that one of the guests says, yes, we must have a game at Christmas. And Becca, who is that guest?
That's Wander McMooch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
Who is that? Who's Wander McMooch?
Well, I do want to say the reason why I'm on this episode is I love all of the background Muppets, especially the ones used in this movie and in Muppet Treasure Island that all kind of came as monsters from Fraggle Rock as opposed to monsters from the Muppet Show. There's a lot. I've written an article about it. I feel like I talk about that article all the time, but you know what?
You wrote and illustrated that article.
I wrote and illustrated that article, and I think it's one of my best. So Wander McMooch is a Fraggle Rock character. He's in 2 episodes of Fraggle Rock. He looks like a frog. He's the one who looks like a frog in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty famous. There's a number of like quotes about it, but he's pretty famous for being basically Fraggle Rock's only villainous character. Right. And the writers said that they didn't really like that Fraggle Rock had a villain because that doesn't quite fit with the vibe of Fraggle Rock, which is
he has purely malicious intentions in his appearances.
Yeah, and is this weird kind of character though, because he really is, other than the main character, I feel like the only one who can, other than the main characters, the only one who really interacts with like both Fraggles and Gorgs. Like,
oh yeah,
he also kind of crosses that line. We don't really ever see characters other than the Fraggles interact with the Gorgs, for what it's worth. Like,
That's true.
Doesn't happen. But he's this weird, like, froggy creature. I love him. There's some great Michael Frith sketches of him and how he would drive around in a little cart, and you can see Frith drawing the the place where the puppeteer would hide and ride in the cart. So Wander McMooch could pedal his cart around and sell things. They use that briefly in Fraggle Rock, but never as much as you would hope, because again, he just isn't around much.
Yeah.
But I love the Fraggle Rock monsters. They give these movies, this and Treasure Island, such a unique feel. I feel like there's something about it that is very different than the Muppet Show monsters. And boy, I'm going on forever about this. But
no, this is really interesting, and you're right. They do just lend a different kind of feeling to these period stories somehow. They don't look like they're period characters, but they look really good when you put them in period costumes. Yeah, and it's interesting because like Michael Frith, obviously, I mean, maybe not obviously to the people listening, he's an artist and a designer, and he's done so many other things, but he really is responsible for the look of a lot of the core Muppet Show characters. Really with the exception of like Kermit and Gonzo, the ones who predate the Muppet Show. He really is responsible for those early sketches of Fozzie and of Dr. Teeth and Janice and the Swedish Chef and and Uncle Deadly.
A lot. Yeah.
I think there was sort of an evolution of the Muppet style and what Muppets did and could look like when he came on board.
Yeah, but it is interesting because a lot of the monster designs, prior to Fraggle Rock, predate the Muppet Show. They're things, they're characters Jim Henson sort of created for like the Ed Sullivan Show or Santa Claus Switch or Sesame Street or any of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, even most...
Well, and I think we want to give a shout out to Don Saline.
Oh, right. Yes, absolutely.
For those Fraggles too.
Jim Henson started it. Don Saline kind of refined the Muppet style, and then maybe Michael Frith redefined it a little bit.
Picked it up from there.
It's interesting to see with characters like Wander McMooch, like what a Muppet monster would look like if it had like a different aesthetic than the super simplistic like Henson and Saline designs. And again, I got nothing against the Henson and Celine designs.
No, not at all. They look great.
Of course not.
Cookie Monster and Grover, two of my best friends. I've got 4 framed pictures of Grover behind me. You can't really see them from this angle, but like, it's such a different aesthetic. And it's interesting that it's such a different aesthetic when you consider that this guy also, designed Fozzie Bear, like, a character that we see all the time.
Right. The other thing, though, is sitting next to, as long as we're on the topic of these monsters.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Wander McMooch is performed here by David Redman, by the way.
I forget who performed him on Fraggle Rock. It's not one of the usual.
No, a puppeteer named Bob Stutt.
Yeah. Bob Stutt.
Who I believe is Canadian. Don't quote me on that.
I mean,
he's a puppeteer whose name we don't know that well, who worked on Fraggle Rock.
So yes, probably Canadian. Yeah.
Well, now I'm checking the wiki here. He was also Felix the Fearless in my favorite Fraggle Rock episode.
Okay.
Marooned.
Which is Marooned?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's Basil in Sesame Park.
Oh, he's okay. Basil in Sesame Park. Then yes, he's Canadian.
Yeah, definitely Canadian.
All right. Sitting next to him is his wife. And who plays Wander McMooch's wife?
It's your favorite character, Brool the Minstrel.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've ever talked about this on air. Maybe we have. But
we've talked about it's definitely come up on one of our podcasts, but it might have been mine and not yours.
Sure. So you mentioned earlier that you did an article about the Fraggle Rock characters who appear in this film for Tough Pigs. And when you published that article, I said that the sketch of Brool that you did was so beautiful I wanted to frame it, or something like that. And so then, Becca, you mailed it to me in a frame.
Oh, in the frame.
And it sits in the frame, yes,
wow.
Which is so nice. And it sits right here in my basement where I'm recording. I can see it right now. It says 17 in the corner, which means it's 5 years old now, which seems wild.
Yeah, I did date it.
Yeah. But, drawing of Brool. And Brool, we should mention, was one of the minstrels on Fraggle Rock, one of Cantus's sidekicks, but is played here by Louise Gold, the great Louise Gold.
It's one of the examples, and you see this with the background characters a decent amount, where... because they are just sort of like utility players, they'll switch the gender of the performance. Like, this is not supposed to be the same Brool as
no,
in
of course.
Fraggle Rock.
They're not assuming that anyone... I mean, I guess they know that there are people like us who look for every character in the background, but they're not assuming that any normal person will be like, oh, hey, isn't that the guy from Fraggle Rock?
And I should note, I'm looking this up on Muppet Wiki now, because I did not have this. I did not know this. But Tim Gosley performed Brool on Fraggle Rock, who is also a Canadian puppeteer. And he was Basil before.
How about
Bob Stutt.
And also the Brool, a version of the Brool character has since appeared on Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock, as one of the troubadour characters who hangs out with Jamdalin.
That's Amy Garcia, who's also Henchy and Marjorie and Ma on the show. On
Back to the Rock, yeah. But they're just among the guests here. They're not really that important to the scene, except that it's nice to see them.
Well, they're very important to us.
Right. But then a human guest, because there are humans in attendance as well, suggests that they play the game Yes and No. Yes and No.
Terrible name for a game.
Which is I'll say, I was going to talk about this later, but I'll just say now, that's right out of the book. This game and that name are from A Christmas Carol.
Great, then it's on site between me and Dickens. So,
but what I love about this though is that you are dissing it, but Dr. Strangepork, who is at the party, not wearing his glasses, but is clearly Dr. Strangepork. It sounds just like him. It's Jerry Nelson.
It is Jerry Nelson doing the exact same voice.
Yeah, he calls it a wonderful game, and everyone agrees. They're all into it.
I should note, and I wrote this down, this is the only Muppet movie where Strangepork has a speaking line.
Is that right? I guess so, yeah. He sings with the other pigs at the wedding. Like
Yeah,
he's
but
singing
I don't
along.
think you can
He
really.
doesn't have a. He
It's
doesn't
not
have a
an
line.
isolated.
Yeah.
It's not an
Right.
isolated solo line. He sings.
No, you're right.
He sings. We built this city in the Muppets 2011. But
Sure. Yeah. Everything's good. But so, anyways, we should say the game Yes and No
Yeah.
it's basically just 20 questions.
20
with
questions.
an unlimited amount of questions. Yeah.
Do you have any further notes on 20 questions? Because I do.
oh, I'm so glad you do.
Well, no, because I was curious, and I figured you would tell us whether it's called Yes and No in the book.
It is called Yes and No in the book.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because, yeah, it is basically just 20 questions. They're asking yes or no questions, and Fred is telling them if they're correct or not. But I wondered, because I've seen other adaptations where they play different games at this party. Actually, one in particular that I'll mention in a minute. But I looked up, starting with Wikipedia, which has an article for 20 questions that says that it originated in the United States in the 19th century and spread to other countries. So it could have been called 20 questions at this point. That article also links to a Google Books scan of a booklet called 20 Questions, a short treatise on the game to which are added a code of rules and specimen games for the use of beginners. And that booklet has a copyright date of 1882. In that booklet, it says the game has probably been around for a while, but, quote, in its present, it is a game of New England origin. So from that, I'm going to conclude that it might have existed in England by 1843. It may or may not have been called 20 Questions in England by that time. But either way, this is what I assumed. It just feels like it would feel wrong for these characters in this time period to refer to it as 20 Questions. I thought that was why they called it Yes or No, but apparently I was completely wrong.
No, yeah. So I have a bunch of stuff about this scene in the book for later, but I'd prefer to save it until later, if that's okay. But what happens in the movie is Fred volunteers to go first, and once again, displaying how in love they are, Clara is positively beaming. When she says, let Fred go first, he always thinks of good things.
He always thinks of good things.
Like, they're so in love, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. But so they start off, like you do 20 questions. They start out, vegetable, he says no. Mineral, he says no. Animal, he says what else? And I feel like there is a version, like the silly version of this movie that doesn't exist that we've talked about. Animal would just like pop up here. But
yeah. In fact, I briefly considered challenging the two of you to a game of yes and no and having you start with animal, vegetable, or mineral. And then eventually I would reveal that I was thinking of animal.
The problem, and we talked a little bit about this, the problem is yes and no cannot possibly take as quick as it takes these characters to solve. And I'll tell you, I used to think that was maybe like, okay, like, yes, it's a contrivance, the movie has to go. But I'm now choosing to believe, and I wrote this in my notes, but also based on what Anthony is saying, that Clara just loves Fred so much that, like, she can tell that when Fred is getting like this, he's probably making fun of his uncle. Like,
oh, interesting.
This is Scrooge. This is Fred's make fun of Scrooge voice. Like, that's the sense. I feel like that's the only way you can justify. Besides, just it's a movie, and we don't want to.
We got to move things along.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's the name of your podcast. Unless aside from that, the only way you can justify it is by saying to yourself, well, maybe they have a vibe that they know so well.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Fred and Clara from being together so long?
Yes.
That I would buy that too. Absolutely. They've played a lot of games. They've played this game together many times before, you would think. So.
Yeah. But so then the people guess, right? A dog asks if it's a dog.
I could not tell who. I do like this dog Muppet, and I like the voice. I couldn't tell who was performing this dog.
Okay, and I do want to say about the dog, because I spent a ton of time trying to figure out where this dog was from. So at first I thought it was Lyle the dog, who was a dog from the Muppet Show.
A reasonable assumption.
Past the Peace Pipe, Mad Dogs, and Englishmen. And you guys know from appearing on the Jim Henson Hour as the TV newscaster who complains about Kermit not showing Dog City soon enough. And this puppet looks a lot like Lyle the dog. But I realized that, and this is my great shame, I had not seen the entirety of Dog City ever. So to figure out who this dog was, because Muppet Wiki was not helping me, I watched the entirety of Dog City last night, loved it. It's great. It's great. I need more senseless violence in my life. And this dog is from Dog City, does not seem to be from the Muppet Show because he's slightly different than Lyle, but he has the white mustache and white sideburns in Dog City. They didn't add it for this.
Sure.
He has them. And he's in like 2 scenes. He falls asleep at the bar in one scene, and he gives Ace some kind of warning about Bugsy them in one scene. But yeah, it's not Lyle the dog. It seems to be this other dog.
And not addressed by name in Dog City then.
Nope.
Huh.
Wait, he gives Ace some kind of warning, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't?
Well, if he doesn't...
Oh, he will, all right.
Yeah, but what if he doesn't?
Oh, he will, all right.
All right, so I'm gonna have
okay.
I'm gonna have to move this scene along. I'm gonna play play the next chord. But yeah, so then there's this dog, and there's also a female pig. It's just a Muppet Show pig that they,
put a wig on.
Although I do want to say we don't see female Muppet Show pigs very often.
Except for the 2 main ones.
Yeah, well, I was about to say except for Piggy and Annie Sue, but like you don't usually
Yeah.
see like anything Muppet pigs that are girls. They kind of wish they used Annie Sue here, but
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah, that would have been nice, especially since Louise Gold is in the... I mean,
Yeah,
Louise Gold could have
exactly.
played Annie Sue instead of playing Brool.
Yeah,
right?
she's right
anyone
there.
could have been Brool.
Yeah.
Right. Anthony, I have to tell you, I was sitting here, the wheels in my head were turning the same as yours, trying to think of a way to contrive, but what if he doesn't? Oh, he will, all right.
Yeah.
You got there first.
I apologize for not remembering the next line. I've only seen.
You just saw it for the first time. But I will say, one of the greatest texts I've ever received in my life was from you last night. Simply, Dog City is a delight.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. When are we doing Dog City 2 minutes at a time?
Oh, man. Ryan and I have discussed doing like a Jim Henson Hour miniseries at some point.
Yeah, I think we might end up doing that at some point.
It'd just be so fun.
Well, we got another podcast feed for that.
Exactly. But anyways, in this one, getting back to this one, one guest asks if the thing in question pulls a hansom cab, and Fred says certainly not. So Ryan, what's a hansom cab?
A hansom cab. Well, first of all, everyone should be aware that it is a hansom cab, Hansom, not a handsome cab, Handsome, although I'm sure some of them were probably quite handsome. This is just a type of horse-drawn carriage. It was named after its inventor, Joseph Hansom. He was an architect and an inventor of various other things.
Like Mbop. He also invented Mbop.
Yes, that everyone's favorite 90s band, Hansom.
Handsome.
According to the website historic-uk.com, he registered the design for the hansom safety cab on December 23rd, 1834. So I don't know if these characters in the scene are aware of it, but this is just 2 days after the 9th anniversary of the hansom cab, if we assume that this is 1843. So it could hold 2 or 3 passengers. The driver was seated at the back. There was a trapdoor in the roof so he could talk to the passengers. It was safer and less prone to overturning than previous cab designs. And I'm pretty sure I first encountered the hansom cab, or a reference to it, in the book The Magician's Nephew. That's the 6th book in the Chronicles of Narnia series by C.S. Lewis, featuring a supporting character who drives a hansom cab. Some people might try to tell you that The Magician's Nephew is the first book in the series. Don't listen to them. It's all lies. Don't pay attention to the number on the spine. It's the 6th book that was written. It's the 6th book that was published. Therefore, it was the 6th book.
I'm of the age where they were all published under the new numbering system. And I don't like the new numbering system
Did you
either.
read The Magician's Nephew before The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Sure did.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
I'm younger than you guys. That's what was published.
I may have even talked about this on the podcast before for some reason, but that infuriates me. But I
it
can
doesn't
go
make
into
any
that.
sense.
Yeah, I can go into that elsewhere, but...
It's so obviously structured as a prequel.
Yes. You're supposed to find out things like, oh, so that's how the lamppost got there.
But do you know what else are things that are obviously structured as prequels?
The Star Wars prequels, yes.
Yeah.
Which, do not watch episode 1 first. That's ridiculous.
Also, the movie Captain Marvel, which now there's watch the MCU in chronological order. Captain America and then Captain Marvel, which is a terrible idea.
Well, because also, if you're going to watch the entire MCU in chronological order, what you're really going to do is watch one of the scenes from the Thor movies and then stop the movie and then go back to some of the other movies.
I have a friend who tried to do that, and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, so tonight I watched, 7 minutes of the Eternals. And I'm like, this is not how to engage with media.
No.
Right.
If you really want to. And if you've seen them before. I guess if you've seen them before, fine. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Do something
Watch them
unusual.
2 minutes at a time, for instance.
Yeah, sure. But just, I don't know. Come on.
Yeah, if we'd watched all these Muppet movies in chronological order, we would have had to start with this one. Come on.
Yeah, you're right.
But we would have had to start with Scrooge's childhood.
That's true.
Right? We would have been watching it out of order. Yeah.
That's right.
No, it's nonsense.
Oh, no. Time out. We start with Gonzo's dream of Noah's Ark.
Right, there you go. Okay. See, I was trying to think if there were any flashbacks to caveman times, but no, you're right. That's probably the earliest chronological
We start
thing.
by watching Bert and Ernie and Sherlock Hemlock in caveman days.
Yeah.
And then so getting back to this scene, they keep guessing, whatever, it just goes on like that for a while. Eventually, Clara correctly guesses that it's his Uncle Scrooge and everyone laughs.
I do want to say I love the way that Brool says, a cockroach.
Also, I love that when one of them says a rat and Rizzo is like, you called? And I love that Rizzo is not upset about being called an unwanted creature. Rizzo knows.
He knows who he is.
Exactly.
Yeah. But also, while everyone is laughing, there's a voice that I think is probably Steve Whitmire. It kind of sounds like Rizzo or Wembley. This high-pitched voice says, "That's a killer!"
Yeah.
Which I think is really funny. That might actually be Louise Gold now that I'm thinking about it.
It might be did Whitmire, who's the female pig? It might be Whitmire as the female
Might be Steve Whitmire as the female pig.
Maybe.
Yeah,
because I'm not remembering. Rudman is
Wander McMooch.
Yeah.
Wander McMooch, yeah. For some reason, I associate "That's a Killer" as a response to a joke with old cartoons, maybe? Is there a character in a...
It definitely sounds like Daffy Duck. Laughing at his own joke. Yeah. I can't think of a specific reference.
No, I know. It's
I can picture Daffy laughing at something he just said and saying that.
Yeah.
You know what it might be from? Nasty Quacks, the Frank Tashlin cartoon where a little girl gets a pet duck and he grows up to be Daffy Duck and her dad hates him. And I think there's a scene, which is, first of all, one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Highly underrated. Nasty Quacks. Look it up.
Nasty Quacks. Well, we'll have to go in and check, and maybe I'll insert myself confirming or denying.
I think they're all still on HBO, right? They haven't gotten rid of those.
There's a lot of them still, as of this recording.
I mean, it's about half of them. It always was. It was never.
Oh, yeah. No, it never could have. I mean, that's impossible.
It wasn't. Right. It's impossible.
Just how it was never all of the Sesame Streets.
Right. Exactly.
Well, or if anyone else has anyone out there has any suggestions on where we might have heard "That's a Killer" in an old cartoon, please let us know. Hello, listeners. This is Ryan from the future coming to you with an update. First of all, since we recorded this episode, HBO Max has in fact removed something like 256 Looney Tunes shorts, mostly from the late 40s and onward. As of now, it appears that Nasty Quacks is not on HBO Max. I'm actually not sure if it ever was, but It is not there because the people in charge of HBO Max are terrible. In addition, we have determined that the exact phrase, "that's a killer," is not uttered by Daffy Duck in the cartoon Nasty Quacks, but a very similar phrase is uttered by Daffy Duck when he is hysterically telling anecdotes over breakfast, much to the chagrin of his human owner. That sounds a little something like this.
The little guy, he got 30 days for kicking a cup. Oh, ain't that a killer?
And the other thing is I realized where I have heard the phrase "that's a killer" exclaimed with so much enthusiasm, and that is from a recording of "The Man on the Flying Trapeze" by the comedy band leader Spike Jones, who was very popular in the 1940s. And he did this version of the song "Man on the Flying Trapeze" with the comedian Doodles Weaver. It's ridiculous. I heard it first when I was a kid. I thought it was one of the funniest things that I had ever heard. Doodles Weaver just keeps getting the words wrong and keeps interjecting jokes into the song. And that sounds a little something like this.
You know, a funny thing happened. A man came out to me. Doodles, did you leave home? I said, I left home. He said, did you put the cat out? I said, I didn't know he was on fire. Ha, the killer.
So there you have it. I hope this interruption has been educational for you. Now, back to the podcast.
But anyways, while everyone's laughing about this, Scrooge looks genuinely hurt by it.
He is so upset. He
He really is.
You wonder, an hour ago, would he have cared as much?
I don't
Maybe
think
not.
so, right?
Well, I think he didn't know how fun parties were, and now he does. He was having so much fun at the party.
I love also, because then the spirit is like, there's much to see, and Scrooge is like, no more. Like, Scrooge is now so afraid. Like, he's afraid that everywhere he goes, Christmas is just about people making fun of him.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and he has such a thin skin for being such a jerk to everybody else.
That's why it's such a surprise.
Yeah. But anyways, then they do. There is much to see. So they materialize.
Although, as you say
street.
that, and I think about it, that sounds like a lot of conservative pundits and politicians of today that I can think of.
I think even without getting into politics, that's just a lot of bullies in general.
That's probably true.
I work in middle school, and
yeah, the bullies who dish it out are the ones who can't take it.
Can't take it, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so in this movie, though, they materialize on another street, and Scrooge asks why they've come to this odd corner of the town, which I really like that phrasing, this odd corner of the town.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Which Jerry Jewell wrote. It's not, Dickens didn't put, they arrived in an odd corner of the town. But the ghost says it's Christmas here too, and then tells Scrooge that, guess what? It's Bob Cratchit's house.
We know that guy.
Yeah, and then Gonzo climbs the ladder once again and starts saying something that Charles Dickens did write for him, which is, perhaps it was the spirit's own generous nature and his sympathy. And that's the end. We don't know what his sympathy is.
I assume he's going to say Sympathy for the Devil, which was his favorite Rolling Stones song.
That's his favorite one. But the Stones never recorded a Christmas album, which would be the obvious. I don't think they have. I've never heard of it.
They've been around for 80 years and they've never done. They must have
at least done a song, right?
I'm going to look it up now.
Okay. I bet they did a song. Maybe for a compilation album or something.
Let's see.
I mean, come on. If John and Ringo got in on this, as we know, then the Stones had to have.
Let's see. So it looks like Keith Richards covered Run Run Rudolph solo, and that's the closest.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's any band that's been around that long. I mean, even They Might Be Giants put out an EP about Christmas.
They put a Christmas EP, and they have a few other random Christmassy songs over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Apparently, I didn't know the Rolling Stones Christmas songs because there aren't any. So that's probably Christmas Present's least favorite band.
I guess so. Yeah.
Christmas present, like me, has a huge They Might Be Giants collection, though.
Probably. He probably likes Sufjan Stevens.
That's
He
true.
does. He has all those Sufjan EPs.
Done a bunch of Christmas songs, yeah.
I can totally see him loving "Come On, Let's Boogie to the Elf Dance."
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. It has the same kind of energy as It Feels Like Christmas.
It feels like Christmas, yeah, for sure. But so that is the end of this. Any thoughts about these 2 minutes before we close? I got a bunch of old Curiosity Shop stuff.
Well, I had something prepared as well. But why don't you do your old Curiosity Shop first?
Oh well, Ryan, do you have anything?
Yeah,
before I do
a couple of quick things. I have exactly one note on casting from other adaptations of A Christmas Carol using previously established characters. And that is from the Muppet Magazine comic strip, A Sort of Christmas Carol, that featured Clara. That's the only one of those on my list that I found that actually cast one of the recognizable characters as Clara. So do you want to guess which Muppet played that role in that comic strip?
Well, two things. First of all, I haven't seen Mickey's Christmas Carol in years, but they didn't just throw Daisy there. Like
Daisy actually
is
plays
Belle.
the Belle character.
Okay,
It's possible that some of these do have them, and I just didn't.
No.
find them in
I
my research.
I've seen it. It's just been a long time. But
Right.
Can
I'm
you
going to say
remind
Dog
us
Lion.
who was Fred?
Dog Lion as Clara. Oh boy, Fred in that version.
Because
hold on.
In my mind, that would help me, but it's probably Annie Sue because.
Okay, is that your official guess?
Yeah.
It is Janice.
Oh,
Not the most obvious,
cool.
but a female character. So
Yes.
Yeah, I mean
Sure,
that's
cool.
the thing is you.
So wait, so is Floyd Nephew Fred?
that sounds right. Okay, hold on. I will.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad choice, to be completely honest. I like.
No, not at all.
I mean, you got that Floyd Sam dynamic because Sam was Scrooge in this, so
Right.
I do like
yeah.
the Floyd Sam dynamic when that shows up on the show.
Like from like Samsung, for example. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay.
great.
I'm looking in the comic strip. Floyd was Fred. Yes.
Okay, so that
Good
Yeah,
job.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So so now I'm going to open the old Curiosity Shop. And in the book, the ghost takes Scrooge to Bob Cratchit's house before Fred's party. I guess they switched it here because there's so much more material with the Cratchits that Fred's party would seem anticlimactic after the song and all that, after Bless Us All, and all that. But in the book, we really do spend a lot longer at Fred's Christmas party than we do in this movie.
Okay.
Like a lot longer. And it actually, I think that the changes here kind of make Fred seem like much more of a jerk. Because in this, I mean, all he
You
kind of
mean in
does
the
is
movie?
like, in the movie, he's just kind of like, let's play a party game. An unwanted creature. It's my uncle. And that's kind of all he does,
Huh.
But in the book, he has a whole speech where he talks about how Scrooge's ill will hurts only him, and that he misses out on pleasant moments that he
But
might
wait,
enjoy.
are
And he
these
says this
people
to the party.
are people guessing these things, or is he just
no,
telling them?
no. This is before the game.
Oh,
So
before
in
they
the
even start
game-
playing, yes or no? Okay.
In the game, the answer is still Ebenezer Scrooge.
Right,
But
right.
it comes after a long scene where he's like, I invited my uncle and I wish my uncle had come.
Okay, so
You know?
then that's guessable.
Right, and that also
Yeah.
makes it guessable. Exactly.
Huh.
But in between there, and also Dickens tells us specifically that they sing songs that are familiar to Scrooge because Fred's mother Fan loved them. Like Dickens
interesting.
reminds us here how important Scrooge's sister was to him.
Yeah, and she's
You
not
know?
even in this movie.
Right. So that's all great. But then they play games. And when I say they play games, I don't mean that they play the game yes and no. I mean they play games, plural.
Super
first-
Smash Bros. Melee,
Yep.
Mario
Apples to
Kart.
apples.
Yeah.
So, they play both of those. It's funny, they actually drew the card in Apples to Apples. The green card was stingy, and someone played Ebenezer Scrooge.
It was a riot.
Oh.
Yeah,
A killer.
yeah, it was great.
A killer.
It was a killer. No, but first Dickens spends a long time describing a game of blind man's bluff. And this includes extended descriptions of flirtations between Fred's wife's sister and Fred's friend Topper. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This scene is so extensive that Fred's friend gets a name, and it's Topper.
Topper.
So this goes on for a
Merry
while.
Christmas,
Then
Topper.
they play a game called Forfeits. Then they play a game called How, When, and Where. And
The
finally,
sequel to Yes and No.
the sequel to Yes and No. And then finally they play Yes and No, which basically goes down like it does in the movie.
Huh.
You know, but a couple of things. Before they play, Scrooge, who, like, as here, is getting into the spirit of the evening, asks the spirit to stay for just one more game, which makes it even crueler when it's like an unwanted creature. And what I think is adorable is Clara, her name's not Clara in the book, I should say, Fred's wife, does correctly guess. She says, "Your Uncle Scrooge," with like many hyphens. It's like SCRO hyphen O hyphen O hyphen O hyphen OGE. Your uncle, because she's so excited. Your Uncle Scrooge. And then, but then in the book, after they guess and everyone laughs, then Fred raises a glass to toast his Uncle Scrooge, quote, wherever he is. So
but do you read that as being a sarcastic toast?
No, like as we established,
he's actually
earlier,
wishing him well.
He's frustrated that his uncle didn't come, but like he wishes he was there, you know? And the movie kind of just leaves all that out. It's just like, hey everyone, let's play a game. Who's a creep? My Uncle Scrooge, you know?
Yeah, he's terrible. I wish he was here.
Yeah, so I do kind of think that it radically alters. So I think it works fine for the movie because the movie's not about Nephew Fred. It's like one of those things you can do in a book that you don't have time for.
Yeah,
I get it, but
so this also doubles as the unofficial segment where I tell you what other adaptations of A Christmas Carol I've watched, because I just recently watched the 1984 British TV movie starring George C. Scott as Scrooge. It's really good. It's
the best, isn't it?
I haven't watched a lot of just straightforward adaptations of the story yet, but this one is really good.
So I've been counting down my 50 favorite Christmas movies on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
And spoiler, I mean, by the time this comes out, that countdown will be long since over for anyone who's friends with me on Facebook. That's my number 2. I think it's the greatest. I think it's like one of the best.
Yeah,
Christmas
it's just
movies ever
like
made.
all the characters, like, you know, we've seen them in so many versions of this, and it's like, okay, here's Fred, here's the nephew. I mean, here's the ghost, here's the other ghost, but they just all feel so vibrant, and like they all have so much personality in that version, especially Scrooge, who's like so gleeful to be so mean to everybody at the beginning. It's great. But
played by George C. Scott, an American, we should note, which is wild.
Oh yeah, see, that didn't even occur to me while I was watching it.
He's not British, and yet somehow he's perfect.
Wow.
He's doing an accent and he's good at it. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mr. Magoo isn't British, and that works.
That's true.
That's true. In that one, when they go to the party at Fred's house, they play a game called Similes. So Similes doesn't appear in the book?
Simile, a singular, by the way,
Simile.
is the name of the game.
So Simile is not in the book.
It's not in the book. There's no tight as a drum.
This is what happens. Fred just goes around the room and he'll say something like quiet as or modest as, and whoever is it, like whoever he's pointing at, has to finish the simile in a way that Fred deems to be correct, which is like that some people say things that sound like perfectly good similes, but he'll say, no, that's not how it is. That's not how it goes. That's not what it is. So like, I don't know where, like, do they have a dictionary of similes that are universally accepted? I don't know. It doesn't seem very fair to me. So Yes and No is a much better game.
And especially because Fred is played by Roger Rees in that movie, who is like probably best known for being the sheriff of Rottingham in Robin Hood Men in Tights, right?
Yeah.
Or he was Robin Colcord on Cheers, Rebecca's like rich fiance.
Oh, okay.
I think those are. Or he was McPherson on Warehouse 13. If you happen to be a late O's Sci-Fi Channel watcher, but he plays like smarmy villains all the time. Is my point, you know?
Yeah.
And he's great at it, but it's weird to see him as Nephew Fred. But a little bit of that smarm comes out.
I mean, he is very smug
game.
in that scene.
Yeah.
And then just to wrap that up, the last one he does is tight as you alluded to, and one of the guests gives the wrong answer. Tight as Ebenezer Scrooge's purse strings. And that's what makes everybody laugh in that version.
Yeah, and it's a drum, as it turns out.
Yes, tight as a drum is the correct answer.
Tight as that famous
according to
simile.
Fred.
Tight as a drum. All right, Becca, you have something prepared.
Yeah, well, I just felt like, listen, I'm not a big fan of yes and no, but I like to think of moving right along as like a weekly party, and you play games at parties and at Christmas time.
I love games,
and I love games too. So I thought we would just do a quick round of Hubba-Wha, where I ask you some questions about Michael Frith.
Should we drop the theme song to Hubba-Wha?
You can. I can send you the file. Yeah, so here's some questions. So you guys can just raise your hand to buzz in, but here's some questions about Michael Frith, because we were talking about Michael Frith earlier. I'm
excited.
This was actually mentioned on an episode of Hubba-Wha. There was a question about this already, so now I'm testing your listening comprehension as well. What country did Michael Frith grow up in? Anthony.
Bermuda.
It is Bermuda, correct. And
let the record show that I also raised my hand just a little later than Anthony.
And the Crystal Caves of Bermuda was what inspired the original design of Fraggle Rock. Yeah, that wasn't a question. That was just
darn it.
Ryan's like, I know things too. You know?
It's like anytime any of us go on Hubba-Wha, it's like I, for one, and I've noticed other people, like, feel like the urge to give excuses, like, oh, I knew that one, I just didn't hit the button fast enough, or like, oh, I was just thinking about that one too hard.
I mean,
let the record show that I'm a 3-time loser, 0-time winner on that show.
and Anthony is super knowledgeable, so it's clear.
And that's the only... Yeah, so that's how I always feel, because I never win, including I lost to you on one, right?
Question 2. What puppeteer is married to Michael Frith? Anthony.
It's Kathy Mullen.
It is Kathy Mullen, correct.
And Michael, we should, as long as we're doing all these Michael Frith games, we should note that he is a former guest on this podcast.
Yes,
true.
You can go back and find that episode
we did a bonus episode during our Muppets Take Manhattan season.
It's true.
We should link to it, probably.
Yeah. It was a great episode. So question 3, we were talking about how Michael Frith designed some of the core Muppet Show characters, and one of those was Dr. Teeth. And of course, on Michael Frith's sketch of Dr. Teeth, he has a different name than Dr. Teeth. What is the name of Dr. Teeth on Michael Frith's sketch? Ryan.
Okay, I'm going to try this from memory. It's something similar to Dr. Leon Elton John Don't Shoot the Piano Player.
You're close, but you don't have it. Anthony, can you steal?
So I didn't remember anything about Leon. I just remembered Dr. Elton John Don't Shoot the Piano Player. But there must be a first name that I'm not remembering.
So what would you say?
It was Dr. Ray Leon Lee Leota Elton John Don't Shoot the Piano Player.
So Ryan, you were so close, but technically it's Leon Dr. Elton John Don't Shoot the Piano Player. Doctor is in quotation marks.
Oh, that's his nickname.
Yes. Yes. So his name is Leon Elton John Don't Shoot. Because piano player is in quotation. I mean, is in parentheses. So his name
that would have been awful if that was the case.
I was going to say it's a funny joke, but it would have not. Yeah, it would have been a bad character name.
His name is Leon Elton John Don't Shoot. And then there was one other question that I have here about Lyle Conway, who was the builder of Lyle the dog, because I was thinking about Lyle the dog. So we're gonna go to this. Lyle Conway is, of course, a puppet builder, worked with the Muppets back in the Muppet Show days and continued to work with them for a bit. And he also was nominated for an Academy Award for his work designing a character from a non-Muppet film. Which film was Lyle Conway nominated for an Academy Award for? Anthony?
Was it Little Shop of Horrors?
It is Little Shop.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. But...
He is the one.
I knew he designed
Audrey, and he was nominated for an Academy Award. He should have won, but he didn't. And
he actually designed Rick Moranis. Weirdly.
Yeah. And I lied because I do have one more Lyle Conway question, and then we can end this game. Lyle Conway also performed in the film you guys have spoken about before, Return to Oz. Which character does Lyle Conway perform in Return to Oz? Anthony, on a roll.
Is it the Gump?
It sure is the Gump.
Yeah. Well, because it's not Jack Pumpkinhead, because that's Brian Henson.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I guess it could have been TikTok or whatever, but
no, it's
didn't TikTok have like an acrobat walking on his hands inside?
that would make sounds right.
That seems like the only way to do TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Gump. So Anthony, hey, you have won your first episode of Hubba-Wha.
And then my prize is a drawing of Brool.
No, I'll get you something. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
All right.
I'll get you something.
Ah, what a thrill!
But
what a thrill! I'm counting it. 3-1, baby.
You've won my party game entirely about Michael Frith and Lyle Conway.
That was so fun. Thank you for doing that.
Thanks for putting that together.
Even if I didn't win, like, that was so fun.
Yeah.
I've been on your podcast 3 times and lost and had a blast every time.
Yeah, so that's all that I wanted to do, but I felt like we needed a game at Christmas time, as Scrooge and the Ghost of Christmas Present would want.
Well, I have that was very exciting. Thank you for doing that. I also have an update on the mistranslated weird bot website version of Hubba-Wha. I found one. It's Hubba-Wha is Hubba-Wha.
Yeah,
so I guess the bot just didn't recognize the word. But this is this is episode 18, the season finale of season 2, and it says, "Properly, all good issues should come to and finish. And likewise, season 2 of Hubba-Wha has come back to and finish." So, and then it goes on from there. And in the credits, it says, "Questions, Brand, Manufacturing, and Modifying" by Becca Petunia. So
modifying is editing, and brand is logo, because I designed the podcast.
Oh,
logo.
sure.
So you should add all of those titles to your credits.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. All right. Well, that, I think, brings us down to the end. Listeners, you can always find toughpigs.com on the internet at toughpigs.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter still. It seems like Twitter's sticking around.
So.
I think it would have imploded. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows what tomorrow holds?
Maybe Hive
Instagram.
Social, if that's still
we are
hanging in there.
We are hiving it up on Hive Social. You can email us. We have an email address, moving right along, at toughpigs.com. We have a snail mail address, 123 Fake Street. And you can follow Ryan on Twitter at @MeRyanRowe. You can follow Ryan on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. You can follow me on Letterboxd at ZeppoMarxist. And indeed, you can follow me on Hive Social at ZeppoMarxist if you want to. We'll see if I'm actually posting anything over there. I sure meant to.
I'm there too.
Currently, no one's posting.
Well, right. As of today, they're updating the app, and they're promising that Hive Social will be better and easier to use soon. So fingers crossed.
We'll see. And who are you on there again, Ryan?
I am also at MeRyanRowe on Hive.
MeRyanRowe. And Becca, where can the listeners find you?
Well,
whereabouts?
My favorite place that I am, that is the only place that is not currently imploding in on itself, is Tough Pigs, toughpigs.com. That's my favorite place that I am. You can find articles I've written and things that I've drawn, and also the aforementioned Hubba-Wha, the podcast that I host sporadically. There's seasons 1 and 2. I don't know when season 3 is happening, but I know that it's going to happen. So,
Yay.
And I'm sure you both will be on it as well.
I sure hope so.
I am still on Twitter, again, for the time being. I'm at Uncle Petunia there. So uncle as in like, the kind of like unwanted creature that doesn't pull a handsome cart, but a handsome cab, but, isn't a leech or a cockroach. Uncle and then Petunia is like the flower, except with an O instead of an A. And, I'm on other places as well. Hive, at Tall Girl Petunia, which is easier to spell than Uncle Petunia. And, I don't know. Tumblr, I don't know. Does that exist anymore? I'm there if it does. Goodreads. Wow, the internet is a huge place.
I don't know if anyone has ever shared their Goodreads before. So.
No, I have Goodreads too. I should.
Yeah. But, it's you can find me in those places.
You and I recently collaborated on a review of Brats of the Lost Nebula for Tough Pigs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listeners should go read that. It was a few months ago, I guess now, but when this comes out. But that show is bad.
Yeah,
read their review and then decide based on that whether you want to seek out the show and watch it yourself.
Read that review and decide whether you want us to, to do a podcast where we review Brats of the Lost Nebula 2 minutes at a time.
2 minutes at a time.
Not even one episode. It'll be 2 minutes at a time.
That's so much Brats of the Lost. Too many brats. Too lost of Nebula. All right. Well, we should thank Morgan Davy for designing our logo. We should thank the listeners for listening and for giving us positive reviews on iTunes. We should thank our patrons on Patreon. You could become one if you want. I don't think I said that earlier. But you can certainly join us next week where we will have another we'll have the same particular visitor.
Yeah, that's true.
Becca will be back. But we'll be right back here with another episode of Moving Right Along. Goodbye.
That's a killer.